Greetings, minions, survivalists, and fellow gamers. This is Silverblade playing 7 Days to Die, Alpha 18.1, Episode 12. In the last episode, we just kept busy, just while stuff was being built or crafted. We were just doing all kinds of things that will kind of further us along and keep the zombies at bay on Horde Night. Right now, we're just making a lot of water. I wish they would go back to better stacks than that. So that's gonna get full real quick. Anyways, while we're waiting on that, I had mentioned in the previous episode that weird things that your neighbors do. About 4 years ago, I was living in the city, Lansing proper, and my dad owned 2 rental properties side by side, and they all had each one had a full backyard. We're talking like a football field in length, which is kind of uncommon for property in the city. We have deer and raccoons and squirrels and coyotes and all sorts of weird shit like that going in the background, in the backyard rather. But also some pretty weird stuff with the neighbors. When I first moved in, probably 2 weeks into moving into the house, my dad had tenants living in the other house. My sister, my niece, and I were living in the one house. The neighbors would throw parties, and they would have like 2 trucks, 2 SUVs, go through my yard, like down the hill, from the driveway and through the backyard, tearing up the yard, playing bass music the whole time at 3 o'clock in the morning. And they would do laps, like they'd come in at one time and then drive down the street, and they'd come in another time, drive down the street. They did this 4 times in one night, and I should have called the cops the second time, but they actually came by themselves, because apparently thumping bass music at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, it gets their attention. So I was kind of ticked off by it because it was waking up my niece, who is going to school just around the corner. And that ended without really any incident from us. We didn't call the cops. We didn't get involved. That's not our way. In fact, we don't go out of our way to get involved with our neighbors here where I'm living now. My parents, they don't get overly involved with the neighbors. If they need help, we'll help. If we see them, we'll be friendly to them, but we just don't get overly involved with them, and it cuts down on the drama, cuts down on the bullshit and arguments and all that kind of mess. So, as a rule, our family tends to be to ourselves, but if you need us, we're always willing to help and there to do that. So when I'm living at the other place, that's kind of the mindset I had. Don't mess around with the neighbors. Don't get overly involved. If they need your help, help them out. Look out for them. So you see any strange cars coming into the driveway or something, let them know you've seen some weird activity or whatever. I mean, I had security cameras in my house, and one of them I aimed towards my neighbors to watch out for weird shit because they had stuff stolen out of their car. Anyway, this is like a couple years into living there. The house on the other side of me was mostly unlived in. It was pretty much an abandoned house. So there was people breaking in all the time, doing God knows what, and you know, we see people going in there. We call the cops because, well, we knew it was abandoned. One person bought the house, and that was kind of cool. It was like, hey, new neighbors. Except he was only home at like after midnight, and then we'd hear hammering and drilling and sawing after midnight. And the first night I heard it, but I didn't want to raise a stink, so I let it go. The second night, that's when I actually went over and introduced myself, and found out the guy was doing renovations on the house because it really needed it. And I was like, well, that's cool, just, you know, keep it down, you know, noise ordinance and all that nonsense. You know, people are living next door, you know, in my place, that is. So, you know, I would rather my niece went to sleep and stayed asleep and got to school and had no problems, you know, like sleeping in the middle of the day type of thing, because she didn't get any sleep at night. Just seems sensible stuff. And that was all cool to the guy. Never had a problem with him after that. And apparently he sold the property shortly after. So maybe 6 months to a year later, somebody bought the house, and I was all cool with it. I didn't go out of my way to introduce myself to the neighbors. I just let them do their own thing, and we'd mind our own business, and you know, everything was cool. I mean, didn't really have a problem until winter came, and where we were living, let's see, my house and then the neighbor's house, the driveways go kind of downhill, down really steep hill, and so it can be hard to get in and out of the driveway when it's wintertime. So instead of asking me for help or leaving the vehicle in the driveway, my neighbor decided to drive through my backyard, which I wouldn't have had a problem with, except that he was doing figure eights and donuts and trying to get all up the hill and not making it, and driving back down. It was like a ballet on the security camera, and I think I even have it up. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but yeah, this guy was just going all over the backyard, and you know, a football field size yard. He's just all over it. It looked like fun, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, what are you doing? So I saw on the video camera. I got dressed, went over, helped get his truck out of the yard. It was a mess, but you know, I took it as kind of funny, but a little irritating at the same time, because you know, you could have asked for help. I wouldn't have had a problem with that. So, you know, that was kind of interesting, but you know, we moved on from there. So this was about 5-6 months later. You know, in my backyard, I had this big willow tree, and behind it, oh great, I got dogs. And behind that, I had a fire pit. A fire pit that I was particularly proud of because I put it, you know, built it with my brother, and you know, we were wanting to have bonfire parties out there, and and all that. Well, one night there was some flashlights going across my yard back and forth, and so I had to go and investigate who the hell's on the property after midnight. Actually, it was like 11 o'clock or something like that. Okay, what's going on out here? I heard something else. Ah, there he is. Yeah. So yeah, there's flashlights going across the yard, and oh crap, dogs. No, there wasn't dogs that there, but anyways, there's flashlights going across the yard, and it looked like there's several people walking around. Oh shit, oh shit. Alrighty. So, after kind of... Oh, crud. Watching it for a little bit. I decided to walk out and see what these guys were doing. So I snuck out there kind of quietly, like, because I always wear dark colored clothes, and it was dark, so they couldn't see me, but I could see them. There's at least 20 guys out there in my yard wearing white shirts and white pants. I didn't know what the hell was going on. It looked like a KKK rally, but they were nicer dressed. Oh. Alrighty. So, as I was saying, 20 guys, all dressed in white, having a field day in my backyard after dark, after 11, and I walk out, stand next to the willow tree, and that's probably a good 25 yards away from the fire pit. They couldn't see me because it was dark as shit out. And I hear voices, which I knew were these guys, but they were saying stuff in words I could not understand. And I'm thinking, oh great, I got cultists in my backyard. And I'm about ready to shit myself because I got 20 guys in my backyard chanting in a weird language that I did not understand. And yeah. Turns out the neighbor guy that had moved in was part of a fraternity, a Mexican fraternity, speaking Spanish, and these guys were like initiates into the frat, whatever you want to call them, and they were having not really a hazing ceremony, but like a ceremony that, you know, welcome them into the club kind of thing, in my backyard. So I go up to the one guy that wasn't dressed in white and asked him what the hell was going on, and that could they like not do it in my yard because my niece was sleeping and that kind of stuff would be a bit freaky and keep her from going to sleep. And he was cool with it. He said, yeah, where's our property line? I'm like, dude, you've been living here for a long, long time. 6, 7 months. Actually, it'd be about 9 months at that point. And you don't know the property line? So I just said, just go over there. You guys got like a fire pit over there. Which is kind of weird because I didn't understand why they didn't use their own thing from to begin with. And so they walked over there and did the rest of their ceremony thing, and it just was cool after that. But yeah, it was just completely bonkers to have some people in your backyard doing some weird ritual, speaking in tongues and all that. So after that, I decided to, try to get to know the neighbors. Not get involved again, but get to know them. And so one day, a few weeks after the cultists in the backyard ritual thing, I saw the neighbor out mowing his lawn, and he didn't know jack squat about mowing lawns apparently, because he had tipped his riding mower completely up to get to the deck to clean it out, because he got it snared on there was a dog, there was a zip line going across the backyard to a couple trees, and he had a dog that would be chained up and go running up and down it, and he got the chain wrapped up around the blades of his mower, so he had it tipped up and trying to get underneath it to clean it. So I got out there and helped him get it untangled and introduced myself and kind of got, say, hey, if you need help, I'm always willing to help. I don't want to get too involved with stuff because, that's not how I was raised, but always willing to help. I'll keep an eye on your yard if you can keep an eye on mine, and it's all good. And from there, we had it started up a good friendship, and every once in a while I'd see him and I'd go over and talk with him, and we had some really good conversation and all that. But yes, that's the story of the wackiness with neighbors. Probably got a little too distracted by it. Not playing the game, but I don't care. I just got a kick out of it myself, and if you did too, great. It also describes my philosophy on a lot of things. So take from that what you will. Alright. Groovy. So now we got some red tea going. Got that. Now, let's see, with that going, we'll go to that silo. And here we go. So yeah, my neighbor, he was still living there after I had moved out, and I think shortly afterwards he decided to move out because the neighborhood was not good. I think the house I was living in after we had gave up on it. We didn't sell the house. We gave up on it. Someone broke into it, which is not like the first time someone's broken into the house. And the first time they did it, they stole all the copper out. So we redid the whole plumbing system in the house with, I think it was PET. Basically, it was plastic tubing for the water, for the water into the faucets and shower and sinks and all that. And so we replaced all that. Then the second time someone broke in, they just broke back out because there wasn't anything to steal then. I told my neighbor about that, so he was on his guard about it. And I'm pretty sure that's probably why he left the neighborhood, because everything was going to shit. I mean, there was a house across the street from me that had traffic going in and out of it at all times of the day. I mean, we're talking, it looked like Grand Central Station, I guess, because there was cars going in and out all the time. And I think you can kind of guess what was going on. You know, the neighbors had stuff stolen out of their car, all that stuff. So after I had moved out, the neighbor moved out, and I still hear from him. You know, I got him on Facebook, and you know, talked to him and his wife, and he's got pictures up of all the kids. Because when I was living there, he had 2 kids. Now it's like he's got 5 or 6 of them. You know? Hey there, buddy. Okay, I wasted a bit of ammo there, but... Aw, you didn't die. Why you no die? Okay, nothing probably in here, but... Okay, so we visited the farm. We haven't visited the farm house. And it doesn't look very inviting. You know what? We can do this the easy way. Holy shit. Psycho Piggy. Psycho Piggy. Ugh. Bacon go bad. Bacon gone bad. And there's a basement entrance. Wow, okay. So it's a proverbial slaughterhouse. Get up, I dare ya. Okay, let's see about raiding this place while we're here. Get as much loot as we can. There we go. I apologize if I was going off on a big time tangent, but sometimes tangents can be fun. A little more entertaining than just, you know, game commentary. Or maybe not as entertaining, I guess. Depends on your perspective. Okay. I am in a world of shit. Okay, that's something to keep an eye out for. So we'll get the main floor, and then we'll dive down into the basement, and I smell bacon. Yeah, I do. And there's no more reload. Crud. Alright, let's get over there and bang this guy out. That just... Phrasing is just not good for me tonight. Okay, he no get up. Ooh. Oh, right. There we go. Okay. Not bad. Not ideal either. It puts the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. Okay. So somehow I have to get on the other side. It's like there's a secret room over here. Well, shit. Bring it on, boys and girls. Excellent. Okay, let's try to get this here. Alright, that's good. Man, that's a hell of a load of stuff to get. what is this? Some sort of lab to make mutant corn or something. That would be something that would be funny, is a engineered mutant something or other. And come on, get it. Alrighty, let's probably finish up with this and call an episode. Just gonna get the empty trash can, all that's been picked through. Yeah, so yeah, that'll be it for now. Anyways, thanks for putting up with me through this episode, because me just going off on a tangent and telling you a whole long-ass story. But I thought it was entertaining. Maybe you did too, maybe you didn't. Whatever. Anyways, check out the links in the description box below. And until next time, see you later. Twitch, Twitch.